All right, guys. I'm going to try to clarify this. I'm starting on this slide. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but I changed the wording to use Gulag and whatnot. So you can pause it here and read this if you want. But this is it in written form. But I'm going to go through examples because it's a lot easier to understand through an example how these Gulag resurrection elimination process works. Okay. So I've updated this with, oh, and by the way, I want to say this was actually, well, the next slide. The week 2 hypothetical and the week 3 hypotheticals were wrong, or slightly wrong in the original video, so don't go back and watch that for reference because that will just confuse you more. And I don't blame anyone for being confused about this because this is confusing to me too. It took a while to like flesh it out on the next slide for what could happen this week and who could be eliminated, going to the Gulag, resurrected, whatever. But let's start with what actually happened. Week 1, Cooper is the lowest scoring team. He goes to the Gulag. I don't know. And by the way, I'm going to be representing people in the Gulag as orange, and they'll have the little Grim Reaper next to them. And red with the skull means you're fully eliminated, and gold or yellow with like the sun is a resurrection. Okay. I'm going to use those in the next slide too, so make sure you remember that. But Cooper goes to the Gulag, and the expected hypothetical was that he would be the lowest scoring team last week, and he would get eliminated. And then next up, in theory, Mitchell would go to the Gulag going into week 3. But that didn't happen. Cooper outscored Mitchell, so Cooper gets resurrected, and Mitchell is in the Gulag. And that's where we are this week. And before I go to the next slide, I think the easiest way to remember how many people are supposed to be eliminated or Gulag or resurrected each week is that, week 1, one person is either eliminated or Gulagged. Week 2, 2 people are either eliminated, Gulagged, or resurrected. And then same thing with week 3. After week 3, 3 people are either going to be eliminated, resurrected, or in the Gulag. Okay, so essentially marked by these symbols. So by the end of week 2, the only 2 hypotheticals were that either elimination and Gulag or Gulag and resurrection. Okay, I think that's the easiest way to simplify the explanation going into this next slide because there are 4. I think there's only 4 potential ways that it can go. So let's get into it. This is the hypotheticals for this week. Here is what actually happened. And by the way, obviously 1 through 16, I didn't care to update everyone's numbers, but 17 being Cooper getting resurrected, 18 being Mitchell going to the Gulag. Okay, and I've tried to order these left to right for week 3 in terms of likelihood. So the most likely thing is that Mitchell and Cooper are both in the bottom 3 and get fully eliminated, and then the next lowest after that goes to the Gulag. That hopefully not. I mean, I'd love to see the resurrections and like the chaos to happen, but for the sake of logistically making this work, this would just simplify things if that just happened. But obviously that might not happen. And you'll notice through each of these 3 scenarios, there's only 3 symbols, meaning there's only 3 either eliminations, Gulags, or resurrections that can happen in each week. And I just want to really reiterate that because I think that's an easy way to remember each week what is going to happen. The second hypothetical right here is Mitchell, once again, gets last. So he is fully eliminated. And by the way, I forgot to mention on this first hypothetical, if Cooper is down there because he's already had his chance in the Gulag, he is just fully eliminated right away if he is in the bottom 3 this week. Bottom 3 including Mitchell. Before I was kind of explaining everything in not including the person in the Gulag, but to make it simpler, I'm just going to count everybody. Bottom 3. So Cooper is in the bottom 3. He is fully eliminated this week. Okay. Second hypothetical. Cooper, let's say he's already been resurrected. He survives again. He's outside of the bottom 3. Now Mitchell in last again. Mitchell has to be last, by the way, to get fully eliminated this week, as you'll see in the next 2 examples, that he can get 17th or better and he will be resurrected. If Mitchell is 18th and Cooper is out of the bottom 3, then Mitchell will be fully eliminated, and 2 people will go into the Gulag next week in this scenario, David and Potter. Okay, I think that one's pretty simple. Then the third hypothetical is the third and fourth get kind of confusing, and they're unlikely to happen, but I have to give the example in case it does happen. So let's say Mitchell gets 17th. Like I said, he only has to beat one surviving person, and that includes Cooper. Like if Cooper was 18th, same, wouldn't change anything here. Mitchell would still get resurrected, and he'd come back in with half the fab he had. He had 87. He'd come back with 44. I think it's fair to round up in case of an odd number, because it's hard to get resurrected. So in this case, Mitchell would get resurrected, and let's say Cooper is also outside of these bottom three. He is safe, and then 16th and 18th go to the Gulag. Right? Makes sense? And this still meets the qualifications of 3 people needing to either be eliminated, gulagged, or resurrected. When someone gets resurrected is when it causes complications and makes it seem weird, like in third and fourth hypotheticals here, where Mitchell resurrects himself. The other somewhat similar hypothetical is the fourth one here, where Mitchell, let's say he's way outside of, I mean, it doesn't matter where he is, honestly, if he resurrects himself, but if Cooper... Honestly, if you replace Cooper with David or Potter here in this third hypothetical, that's really all I'm doing here. He would be fully eliminated. But this is the only scenario here where the 16th scoring team this week is not gulagged or eliminated. And that is if Mitchell is outside of the bottom 3. Because then you have elimination, gulag, or in theory, Cooper could also be outside of here. There'd be gulag, gulag, resurrection. Okay. I think I said everything I wanted to say. I think if I say more, it's going to become more confusing. But I would imagine... Well, I don't want to say anything because Cooper resurrected himself last week. So I won't say Mitchell can't. But it seems like it's a lot harder this time because Cooper is also trying to, like, still make his team a lot better and grabbing like those bottom of the barrel guys that are left on waivers that Mitchell is also trying to get to make his team better. So this already makes it harder for Mitchell than Cooper had it last week. So we'll have to see. But obviously first and second hypotheticals here are the most likely things. And if anyone is still confused, you're not dumb. Like you can ask and we can try to clarify it. But I think this makes sense. So then going into week 4, we'll have more hypotheticals, but same concept will apply. 4 people will need to either be, like, let's take this first hypothetical, which is in theory the most likely. Going into week 4 then, Cooper and Mitchell gone, fully gone. They don't have anything. They're not allowed to pick up people on waivers anymore. Going into week 4, David is in the Gulag. He creates his team of 0 fab waiver guys. He and another one, David. Let's say this is what happens week 4, but except no Cooper and Mitchell because they're already gone. But they're included in that count of 4. So at the end of week 4, 4 people need to be eliminated, gulagged, or resurrected. So 2 of those being Mitchell and Cooper already. The next 2 being whoever it is. It could be David plus one other. That means David's eliminated and the other one goes to the Gulag. Or if David is outside of the bottom 2 that week, which would be 15th and 16th, then he is resurrected and the bottom one goes to the Gulag. I'm probably just confusing people more now because it's not actually fleshed out here. But at the end of every week, that number of people need to be either eliminated, gulagged, or resurrected. I just want to say that like for the millionth time because I think that is the simplest way to put it. Okay? Awesome. Yeah, that's it. A lot of trades happening this week, and I love it. Try to get them in if you can. I know it's not always possible, but like by tonight or like really early tomorrow because I record probably during the day tomorrow. And like last week, I missed some of them because they happened midday Thursday. But it doesn't really matter. But if you want them in the video, do them. Get them done quickly. But yeah, good luck, guys.